one egg. See if there's any other eggs. No, just one more. Just 2 eggs today. Oh, hello. Hello. You also want some water and some food? Hello, my boy. You coming to look at your boys? Hmm? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Green and Mrs. White. Hello. Good morning. Hello, my boy. Yeah. Yes. Hello. Hello, girl. Hmm? Now, one of these girls, I think it's this one here. That girl. She gets out of her cage every night and is loose. And then she goes and lay an egg somewhere else. And she's the only Muscovy that lays eggs right now. So last night I woke up with serious screaming, and it sounded just like one of these girls in distress. Now, you hear the noise they make, they just go prr, 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 prr. The boys hiss, but the girls make this little prr, prr noise, and they never scream except for when they are under distress. And then it's more a squeaking noise, not like these ducks. When the females scream, they scream loud. But I just heard this squealing, and so I got out, ran out into the woods, went through here. I heard it down in the woods here, like right there. So I ran around, I climbed the fence here, climbed over top, ran around, and then ended up somewhere around there in the woods. And there's this screaming and flapping and serious screaming going on, all this commotion. So I'm screaming and I tell them to stop and go away, and because I was sure a coyote had come in and grabbed her. Anyway, and then I heard it down in the woods, down there, and I'm shining with my torch, and then I hear it right there behind the tree, but there's fences in between, so I'd have to climb over the fences. So I had to walk around this way and look over there. And then I heard it up in the tree, like high up in the tree, same screaming. And the next second I hear it down in the woods again, on the ground. And I'm thinking, wow, who is screaming and what is screaming? Because it doesn't quite sound like a duck. Anyway, by the time Mark arrived, and he had a torch as well, so we're both walking around there like crazy, trying to find my duck, trying to find what's screaming, and it moved from there to there into the tree, back and forth. And I thought it's impossible for anything to move that fast. So eventually we found that there was a raccoon sitting up in the tree right there. We found his little eyes. It's not a large raccoon, just a small raccoon. But it's screaming at us and performing, and so I'm thinking, oh, it took the duck up into the tree. But I didn't see any duck. So I decided after like half an hour of watching and searching to walk back through here, and everything else was quiet. The pecans were, making a little bit of noise, but not much. So I walked to the barn and I counted all my duckies. 4 of them were in the one cage, 2 in the other, and indeed, this one ducky, this egg-laying ducky that always escapes, she's gone. So I'm thinking, yeah, she definitely got caught. Something caught her. Anyway, so I went back and Mark went back. Then we went and get Jessie, and we set Jessie loose in there. And we never found her. And after about an hour of searching and looking at the raccoon up in the tree, making sure the duck wasn't up into the tree, we gave up and we said, okay, well, duck's gone, duck's dead. Let's go to bed. Nothing we can do anymore except for let's go fix the cage so that she can't get out anymore and the raccoon cannot come in. And then I heard this little squeaking. I called her just in case. I walked through to the large veggie garden there, right there. It was where the sheepies are. I don't know if you can see them down there. They were lying there. So I walked there and I called her, and I hear this squeak, 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 like the way these little girls talk. And she was talking to me, and she just came walking up to me and she said, "What's going on?" "I'm okay." And I said, "Oh, good, you're still there." So what I think in the end was going on, I think there were a bunch of raccoons and they were fighting over the food that they try and get here. Not the ducks, but the duck food. So, and they were just fighting with each other. And I think this was a young raccoon. And they were just arguing amongst each other. So get it over and done with. Boy, you're heavy. Duck mating never looks nice to me. Always looks so, grab it by the feathers, push the head down underneath the water. And the more inexperienced they are, the longer it takes. It's like, get off, man, go and do your thing. Okay. But she doesn't seem to mind. Now she's feeling all happy and sassy. And now he's going for the other one. Oh, hello, girls. Are you also coming in the back? Ooh. It's splashing. Hello, Mr. Red. Mr. Red and Mr. Green had a big fight the other day. But I tried to separate them, and then eventually I decided, no. They keep getting into each other. You know what? I'm just going to let them fight it out. And they did. And they quit. So... This is what the pecans like to do. Put their beaks into the wet soil and they eat some grit, some sand. And they also sieve the sand for little bugs, but mostly they eat a lot of the sand that sits in their crop, and then it helps them digest their food a little better, I believe. They always stay in groups, huh? White ones versus brown ones. Hey, I'm getting wet here. I normally give them 2 different baths in 2 different areas, so feed them separately and put them in separate baths. But I wanted to film it, and I also wanted to see how they can work together, how they can be together. They're not fighting, so not too bad. Woo, look at that. Oh, the feathers went flying. And there goes Mr. Yellow. Here's Mr. Green. He's getting a bit heavy to fly, so he's got to find his way to come out. But it's better if he stays on the other side. They can come bathe later. Oh, you do fit through. Yeah. See if they go and fight. Oh. Mr. Yellow says, "That's my girl. Stay away." Actually, Mr. Yellow has got 2 girls. And Mr. Green hates Mr. Red. And there he goes. Chases away Mr. Red. He's cornered him. Yeah, you better run, boy. Mr. Green's girl follows him around very faithfully. She always stays with him. Okay. Because now the Muscovies will leave. And then the pecans can go and Splash in the bath for the rest of the day.